Hi! For this video, this is already the third part of our lecture series of naming alkenes. So I'm going to give the last set of examples for us to wrap up all the rules that we need to remember when we name our alkenes. So for these examples, I am showing you some skeletal structures with, of course, the double bonds within the structure so that we will be able to apply all the rules that we learned in the previous video. Now, let's start with this very first example here. Now, you see that it's being color coded. So that means the color blue is already your hint that that is your parent chain, obviously, because that's going to give you the longest continuous chain with the presence of your double bond or bonds. Let's start with this very first example. Now, we've seen that this is our parent chain, but we have two branches here. This is a methyl and this is an ethyl. Now, we lack the numbering. We have to start now because we're done identifying the parent chain. Now, we have to number. Now, I want you to pause this video for a while and start analyzing this structure and think about where should we start numbering. Should we start from our left or from our right? Pause this video before you proceed. Now, I hope that you're able to pause and think it over. Now, when we number, our very first concern is the location of our double bond. If we start from the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, our double bond will be in between carbons 3 and 4. If we also start from the right, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our double bond is still the same between carbons 3 and 4. So where should we start then? So if the location of the double bond is equidistant from the left and from the right of the parent chain, that means our next consideration are the substituents or the branches. We know that we have two branches, our methyl and ethyl. Now, we said in alkanes that we number where the branch is closest to. And you see for a fact that this branch is very close to the right side or the first carbon of the parent chain from the right. So between right or left, we now have an idea that we begin numbering from the right because our branch is closest to the rightmost tip of our parent carbon. Now, careful with a misconception here. You might think that I will number from the left because ethyl alphabetically is first, then methyl. No, it's not about the name. It's about the location of your branch. So our double bond, we don't have a problem of that. That's always our first consideration. But in this case, because it's between carbons 3 and 4, whether you start from the left or from the right, our second consideration will be the location of our branches. And because our methyl branch is very near to the right side of our parent chain, that means we begin numbering from there. So the correct way is we number starting from here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So this is a hexene then. So let's now definitely write the name. Now, when we name, you need to arrange this alphabetically. So that means our ethyl, this one has to be named first. So the number of ethyl is 4. So that means this is 4 dash ethyl. And then followed by our second branch, which is dash 2. And that is our methyl. And then next will be, because our branches are all there, next is we will now mention our double bonds location, in which it's important that you need to place the number where the double bond is. And because it's between 3 and 4, you choose the lower number, so that means dash 3 dash, which I'll just put down hexene. So the complete name therefore is 4-ethyl 2-methyl 3-hexene. So that is now our complete name of our first structure. So I hope that things are being clear or clearer right now so that you'll be able to successfully name your alkenes. So let's now proceed to the second example. I want you to pause the video for a while and I want you to look at this example. I want you to decide why or where should we start numbering and how we should number this. I want you to reflect on this first. Okay, I hope you're done looking into our structure. So the blue is definitely our parent chain. Why is it that we don't begin here where you see the black lines, the two carbons here? We don't begin here because if we begin here, that means this double bond will not be included in the parent chain, right? And the primary consideration for the parent chain of an alkene is that the parent chain should have all the double bonds present in the compound. And so we never ever start from here. So our parent chain that will hit, of course, there are two double bonds that will include the two double bonds is that obviously we'll start here all the way to the last or the second double bond. That's the longest chain that we will have. And so that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So this is a pentene, but there are two of that. So we should use the prefix di. So this is a pentadiene. But before we will go to the parent's name, we need to analyze carefully our branches. So where should we begin numbering? Should we begin here or should we begin here? Now, there are three branches. So you have two methyls, this one and this one, and this one is an ethyl. So E, ethyl, M for your dimethyl. But where should we start? The both branches are equidistant from the double bond. So that means this comes our third consideration, which is the alphabetization. So between ethyl and methyl, of course, E comes first in the alphabet. That means we need to start numbering from where ethyl is nearest to. So that means we obviously start here. So that's our 1. And this will be our 2, 3, then this is our 4, and this is our fifth carbon. So that's it. Because the branches, unlike this, the branches are equidistant here. So that means the third consideration will be the initials of the branch's name. And because E comes first before M, that's why we begin numbering from here. And so let's now start numbering it or naming it. So that means we'll start with ethyl, obviously. So we have 2 ethyl. Ethyl is in carbon 2, 2 ethyl. And our dimethyl are in carbons 3 and 4. So that's dash 3, comma 4 and dash dimethyl and then dash again because we're done with all the branches. Let's now put the location of our double bonds. Our double bonds are in carbons 1 and 4. Again, choose the smaller number between the two carbons sharing the double bond. So that's going to be dash 1, comma 4. And as what we have said, because there are two double bonds, we begin with the prefix for 5 carbons, which is penta, but then there are two double bonds, so that means we will use the diene. Please do not put the di before penta. The di should be before the suffix ene. So pentadiene. So the complete name for this compound is now 2-ethyl dash 3, 4 dash dimethyl dash 1, 4 dash pentadiene. So that's it. I hope that you're copying this on your notes so that you'll be able to learn further and review further in the future. So that's it for now. This is Madam Narca saying don't stop learning, relearning, and unlearning. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Till the next series of the video lectures, thank you so much. Bye-bye. God bless us all.